He's good. He knows every aspect of this game. But my grandpa put all his gaming knowledge, his whole heart, into assembling this deck. I have to believe that it holds some secret strategy. This card is useless.
Heyo, it's GrandGoten, and today it's time for us to feel the flow, get our game on, rev it up, step into action, etc, etc, Yu-Gi-Oh catchphrase. We're looking at Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist, Link Evolution, the latest home console game for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise. Now, I love Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot. I don't nearly need to copy a Wikipedia line to tell you what Yu-Gi-Oh! Is. We got a manga by Kazuki Takahashi, became really popular due to its card game, had one anime adaptation that was about the early volumes of the manga, second one mainly about the card game, that became popular, focal point of the series, many spin-offs, TCG, OCG, done. GX is the best spin-off. You might see it. Yeah! Now, we can talk about the game in depth. It's just like playing the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game, but only you hold the controller. After that excitement, let's actually talk about the game. There's a whole host of content to look through, and its mechanics are very faithful to the real-world card game itself. We get to go through each of the stories of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise, starting with the Duel Monsters anime, where we start the initial duel of Kaiba vs Yugi, straight to Duelist Kingdom with the beautiful man we know as Pegasus, experience Battle City, where we face against the god cards, Marek with his deadly goons like Punk Rock, and Odeon. There's even the 4th season of Duel Monsters, which it does hurt slightly going through. No Kaiba Grand Prix though, and nothing regarding the Pharaoh's memories, but we do get to go straight to the ceremonial battle against the Tem and Yugi, so we get good stuff still, to be fair. Then we get to chill out with our friends in the schoolyard in GX's portion, mainly just Season 1 filler duels, and then mostly about the Sacred Beasts, dealing with then Kagemaru as he becomes incredibly old to incredibly buff. Soon you do the whole Society of Light stuff, and we experience the worst the story decks have to offer, but that's for later in the video. You do Asuka's fight, Chaz, then Asta, Spear Zane, and then the Sartorius fight itself. Then you move on to Duel Academy, jumping over into the other world and get Yubel's old shenanigans. And then barely anything about the Supreme King, don't need that. No evil hero, story deck, what a shame. That sucks so badly. But then Season 4 is skipped, just like the dub did, but we still get the fight against Night Shroud and the final duel against Yugi of all things. We didn't even get the duel with the true star of the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX dub.
That's right, Poopyhead! My mommy says I'm really strong! You hear me? I take guys like you and eat them for breakfast!
Let's shift into Turbo, getting all the main beats of Yusei's time in 5Ds. Mostly out of the satellite and everything up to the Fortune Cup. Even playing as Gregor of all people. You probably remember Gregor. All of Yusei's main duels within the Fortune Cup are covered. We get all the Jack and Yusei rivalry verging on love, and you can feel them in duel form as you get closer and closer to hating Jack, bit by bit. Then we get right into the Dark Signers popping in with our boy, Kalen Kessler. We even get Jack versus Carly, and during this whole arc, I don't think I saw a single Earthbound Immortal. It's disappointing. And like Kagemaru, we have to duel Rex Goodwin in his buff form. Somebody had an agenda for Yu-Gi-Oh! Villains. Yeah, fair enough. And then the whole ordeal of the World Racing Grand Prix, Team Unicorn, Team Ragnarok, love me those Nordic cards. Yep. And finally, Mech Lord. And no Season 4 for you. Also, why isn't Jesse Wheeler playable, huh? This is Joey Wheeler's cousin, apparently. According to the dub. Then we high-five the skies, we follow Yuma and Astral as they hunt for so many number cards. You get all the focused fights leading up to stopping Dr. Faker's plans. The World Duel Carnival gets some spotlight, but a majority of the duels, much like the series, focuses on the Barian world, Astral world, Human world, fighting against all of the Barian emperors. Shark dealing with his whole memories of being from Barian world coming back. The whole ordeal with the Numeron monsters and the Numeron code. Yuma and Shark's duel leading to the final duel against Astral, where I hope you enjoy seeing Yuma's catchphrases or theme songs as card names. Not even Yugi got that, but then again, Yugi and Joey got their own ship card, and that's probably better, right? Now we do whatever Yuya's catchphrase is in Arc 5. No action duels here, or even turbo duels now that I think about it. We do follow Yuya's journey to the Arc World Championship, the whole mess that leads to the discovery of the other dimensions and the staging of the war against each other. Get to play all the respective duels as Yuya and his friends amongst each dimensions. We got the fusions, synchros, XYZ, pendulum, No ritual, because ritual sucks. It does. You know I wouldn't lie. It is interesting dueling against not Jack Atlas or not Crow and not Kite, but in a game that focuses on using text boxes for its story, it doesn't feel as cool as it should. Then we gotta deal with Zack and that whole mess, and Arc 5 just isn't very good. Also, is it Arc 5? Or Arc V? I don't know. Tell me? And lastly, we gotta step into the brains, which doesn't sound right coming from me. It sounds way better when you hear it like the show.
Into the brains!
Way cooler. Originally, Vrains only had 3 fights of Playmaker versus the other 3 main characters, but now they've fully fleshed it out, and I can't remember the Vrains story for the life of me. Even after watching it, even after playing it. I think that boils down to Link Evolution just not presenting the story in an interesting way. It's just text boxes, portraits, and not a sliver of voice acting to be found. Which is a shame, since Duel Links itself does use the respective voice actors for each characters, and even if it is just some snippets here and there, Link Evolution could have at least done something with that to keep my attention grabbed. Now onto the gameplay. I think it's safe to say that Yu-Gi-Oh! Link Evolution is a really good Yu-Gi-Oh! simulator. Bye! No, but in actuality, Link Evolution is a great way to get into the series and learn its, as of right now, current mechanics of the trading card game. The tutorial goes into the right amount of depth for each of the phases, what monsters do, what spells and traps do, how the turns will progress properly, or how to activate effects at right times. It tries its best not to alienate potential new players, and I feel like it gets the job done in a pretty nice and concise way. When booting up the game itself and selecting the first duel of Joey and Yugi, it does actually start off with a way to explain most of the basics and how a duel will actually progress. It's a good way to look through it if you just want to get right in there and learn in some sort of gung-ho way. You absolute madman. Alongside that, each time you start one of the new stories, you're presented with a brief tutorial on how to perform the series' staple extra deck summoning method. Surprisingly, Link Evolution offers a teeny tiny bit more in terms of game modes. Anyone remember the Yu-Gi-Oh! Battle Packs? Anyone? No? Well, Link Evolution lets you use all 3 battle packs available so you can truly feel getting shafted by the draft play online. Yes! Following on from the battle packs, the main way to get cards in Link Evolution is through the story itself. Who knew? Some cards drop from beating your respective opponents, but you will on occasion unlock a character and their respective card pack. Using duel points you get from doing duels in the story mode, you can purchase packs that involve cards related to the character. You know, Elemental Hero cards from Jaden, Gong Strong having Super Heavy Samurais. Super Heavy Samurais are some of my personal favourite archetypes in the entire franchise. I don't care that they're bad. You won't have to worry about grinding for duel points really. Link Evolution, it's very generous with them actually. You can just go completely ham on a character's pack for all the cards you really need after just going through a few of the story mode fights. Even then, you can use your own decks after a bit, so there's no harm using your own deck to absolutely trump Yugi from Duelist Kingdom. Alongside character packs, deck recipes are available for yourself to try out different ideas related to a certain character and the archetypes they may have used, so like a Toon deck from Pegasus, or Salamangreat from Soulburner, etc, etc. Play Super Heavy Samurais, you know you want to. A big tip though for story mode, maybe try out one of the starter decks instead of using some of the story decks, as they try to be accurate to the plot, to some avail and to a huge amount of detriment. Using Jaden's Elemental Hero, Neospatian and Ojama deck during the Society of Light was an absolute pain, and I wouldn't want anyone to go through that. Most hands look like this.
Why do you mock me, O Lord?
Link Evolution compared to most Yu-Gi-Oh! Simulators has a lot going for it. Colourful background, you're allowed to use specific characters as the face of your deck, its card selection is quite good, clocking in at over 10,027 cards, and uses the April 2020 Forbidden and Ban list, alongside the updated rules that came into effect around that time. But one thing that every Yu-Gi-Oh! Simulator has over it is they're free. Have access to all the cards, and even the ones only out in the OCG right now. And some even have rush duels and are implementing turbo duels, or even speed duels, which even Link Evolution can't do. Overall, I do feel like Link Evolution is worth a new player's time, and a long-time Yu-Gi-Oh! Players as well. If it's just to have some fun on consoles reliving the stories of each anime, even if they have horrible story decks. I love you, Joey. I love you, but by God, I can see why it was considered a fourth-rate deck or whatever. It's available on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Thank you for watching. What archetype do you like using the most? You already know I like trash, but any specific card you like regardless of how the Yu-Gi-Oh community views it, let me know in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe as well. Don't forget to link that little bell icon so that despite subscribing, you may know when a video actually gets uploaded. What a great hellscape of a website this is. Thanks for watching.